Hey, hello, how are all you doing? Welcome to my channel, Chasing Ghosts. I'm heading into work this morning and running late as always. Not really late, but I'm late. It's one of them things. It's like you gotta be early or you're late. You know, so you've always got this mindset of I'm late. You're really not late. You're actually earlier than everybody else, but it keeps you on time, that's for sure. I have this fear of being late. I forgot to mention, my name's Tara Smith, and this is my channel, Chasing Ghosts, and this is an early morning ride. I'm actually leaving later than normal, and it's warm enough I don't even have a coat on. I just got my vest, and, well, I kind of figured the back's reflective and everything, because it's got the thing on the back from, how should I put this because it's YouTube, my writing organization is on the back of it, and it's nice and it's reflective and all that shit. And I'm kind of wondering about my lights in the back, you know, at least he didn't hit me. And a little explanation of Texas for you. I'm doing 59-60 in a 40, and I'm getting passed. And cops do patrol this road. So, that's Texas for you. But I don't understand why I'm getting a ticket for impeding traffic. I was doing the speed limit. Yes, you are impeding fucking traffic. Know what I mean? So, everything's like left foot down. Half the time I'll put both feet down. Actually, most of the time I think I put both feet down. Just is. I can blow my face off a second. We're getting a cat hair issue at home, and it's bothering me. So, I gotta figure out something to do with that. One of our cats may be shedding or something, I'm not realizing it, but I'm getting fur everywhere. Well, that, and one of them has got it in her head that I'm a cat bed. She wants to sleep on top of me. That might be the problem right there. That might be it. But anyways, there's jokes about Texas speed limit, and they're like 75, 80, 80. Look at a 30 sign, 80. Then they get to a 55 mile an hour sign. 55. That's for real. Small towns don't play. Yeah, it'd be funnier if the meme wasn't true, but it's true. And these people are crazy. They will run you over. They had another road rage shooting yesterday. You know? So what are you gonna do? That one wasn't even on the freeway. That was in a parking lot. Somebody backed into somebody's car. They got out and they got in an argument. I was listening to it on the news a minute ago. And one of them shot the other. I think he's in the hospital. They're looking for the other guy. Is that really worth shooting someone? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a Second Amendment advocate. I'm a native Texan. I have plenty of my own pew-pews, you know. I do have a carry license. Strangely enough, might be a good thing given everything I do. People are weird. You know. Some of my viewers have seen some of my pew-pews. So, but yeah, there are weird people out here. I drive a truck for a living. Sometimes I'm local, sometimes I'm over the road. got to carrying bigger calibers because, well, I like being able to shoot through my windshield. And while my 329 PD, which is a 44 Magnum, does make my hands bleed when I shoot it, I'm very accurate with it. I have no problem shooting it other than it literally breaks the skin open on my hand. And I have no problems, you know, no qualms about whether or not it'll go through my windshield. Because trust me, I'm not hanging it out the window to shoot it. Riot Season did that to me a few years ago when they put 18 rounds into my fucking trailer. You know? Start looking forward to winter. You know? It's like, apparently Black Lives Matter unless it's cold. I don't know. My personal view is every human life matters. Doesn't matter what color you are, what your race, creed, religion, any of that shit is. You fuck what you do. Every human life matters. You're somebody's son, you're somebody's daughter, somebody's father, somebody's mother, grandmother, aunt, uncle. We all matter. But, too bad the world didn't work that way, though, because unfortunately there is prejudice and bias and racism and, you know, anti-Semitism, anti-Slavic sentiment, which strangely is still a thing, you know, that nobody gives a fuck about. But, it's weird. And the trucking industry has got a little bit of that. I don't think they realize what it is, but, you know, bitching about Eastern European drivers coming over here and like, well, they're not used to driving in the snow, or at least this fast. It's like, you realize where they come from, right? You realize the snow that they get in the mountains that they have. Yeah, they're actually pretty good drivers. It's the same thing that they used to do, like with black pilots and stuff like that. You know. And then I can remember in my lifetime people arguing like, well, they had some white blood in them if they could pass all the tests. And that's just racism, is all it is. Yeah. Somehow thinking you're superior to somebody else because of your ancestor adaptation to being able to absorb vitamin D. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, does it? So, yeah, on one side of my family, I'm like second generation. Yeah. Family in the early 1900s, or earlier half of the 1900s, came over here. Had a little problem. Oh, a few Germans and stuff. So, yeah. Other side of my family goes back to Maryland Colony, Jamestown Colony, the literal Jamestown Colony. Isle of, what do they call it? Isle of Wight? Is it Isle of Wight or Isle of Wight? I don't know. One of y'all correct me in the comments. So it's like one side goes all the way back to the literal founding of just this land by white people. And I realized several hundred years before Leif Erikson, you know, we found his settlement. He was there long before Columbus. You know, but, you know, the actual colonization that stuck is really what we're talking about there. Yep, my bloodline goes back to that. Colonel Glover is one of my ancestors, if you know who he is. If you're in the Navy, you damn sure should know who Colonel Glover is. Strangely enough, I'm related to both Colonel Glovers. There were two Colonel Glovers in the Revolutionary War, and I'm related to both of them. One sank his boat and lost his fortune, and the other ferried Washington across Delaware and all that good stuff. whole Marbletown thing. But back to the 2A thing. What could somebody be doing driving that would make you want to shoot them? And as a pro Second Amendment person, and trust me, I'm not a FUD. I've got things most of you would love. I am broke. I'm tired of selling the damn things because I've had to sell too many of them recently just to like survive. And that's kind of how it is. And that's one of the good things about them. They're a financial investment. If you do it right, that doesn't lose money. You know what I mean? And I build 1911s. I build good quality 1911s. You can see some of them on my Discord. But if you're buying them with the intention that later on, you got all this money invested in it, but then you might have to let a few of them go in an emergency, because it's kind of like a stockpile of money sort of thing. Like, okay, the cash value can drop, but the value of this isn't going to drop. I'll tell you that $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 firearm, you're not going to move real quick. You're just not. Is there a market for it? Yes, there is. Is there a chance you can move it quick, especially if you know someone? Yes, there is. Are the odds in your favor? No. That cheap little Glock, and I consider anything under $1,000 on a firearm cheap. That thing, you're going to move quick. 1911, cheaper version, which honestly, for most people's purposes, if you just want a shooter, something you can depend on, there's no point in spending outrageous money on my beautiful creations. That Rock Island will do you good. And something I've found, if it helps any of y'all out, because Clark Cut might have a little better handling of flat-nosed ammo, but most 1911s do not handle flat-nosed ammo well, to include hollow points. They're literally made for FMJ. We're talking round nose. It was designed for a 45, just regular old round nose 45. That's it. That's what it's designed for. What I've found though, and you might try some in yours if you want, if you're having those problems, the Sig Sauer V-Crown does really well through the Rock Island 1911s. If you have one of those. I've jacked around with a few of them. Then I build 1911s. You can get kits and stuff from them if you want. There's other places that I actually prefer to get my stuff from, but their stuff's not bad, especially if you got your own polishing stones and everything. It will do the job more than adequately. It's not hard to build a 1911, but unless someone's physically attacking you with a car. Now in that case, unload on them. You're defending your life, your property. They're ramming you, they're trying to run you down, whatever. Okay, I get the point. But just because you got an fender bender, why in the world would you want to shoot someone for a fender bender? You got insurance, they got insurance, and that is fucking neutral. Where have we found neutral today, class? On this episode of Finding Neutral. But, anyways, if you're gonna carry a gun, if you're gonna do that, yes, I do. Not always the same gun, by the way. But, I have a little rotation. You've got to keep a cool head. If you're the one with the gun, you've got to keep a cool head. You can't be flying off the handle. And also, if you live someplace like here and you don't have a gun, it would be a good idea not to be flying off the handle, because the other person probably does, and they will shoot you. You know, they feel their life was threatened and your life will be over. And it's probably not something worth dying over. And in most cases, nearly every single case, keeping a cooler head, staying calm, avoiding violence is the right thing to do. In nearly every single case. I'm not going to say all cases, because there are some cases where the right thing to do is to get violent, and to get violent real damn quick. You know, I'm not going to say that doesn't exist. But in the vast majority of the cases, probably any case that you're ever exposed to. I gotta talk to my cat. She hasn't been in a talking mood. There's a pretty tomcat she's been looking at. That is some big chunks of mud. But, yeah. Nearly every case you will ever run into in your life, very few of us will ever actually have to use our gun in self-defense. Now, guns do save lives. There are so many self-defense cases. I have used mine in self-defense. As in most self-defense cases, one of the things that the news forgets to mention is the fire. No one's ever actually shot usually. It's rare that you shoot someone, because just the presence of a firearm, and usually the bad guy goes away. That's usually how that works. Now, I'm not saying don't expect to have to shoot someone. If you pull a gun, have full intentions of shooting them. There's no reason to unholster a gun unless you intend on shooting a target, cleaning it, putting it up for storage, or taking a life, you know? But in most cases, once the person finds out that the victim is armed and can defend themselves, you know? I meant for second, not first. Yeah, they go away. And that's just how that works. Get on throttle here. Do 80 through here, and I gotta make a U-turn. Remember what I told you about Texas? 40-mile construction zone, 40-mile-an-hour construction zone, and they're doing 80. Yeah, if you don't get out there and get on the throttle, they will run you over, because you got to put enough space between you and them that you can make this little merge here, you know? There we go. clinging to my pegs. I need to put some foot cords or something on here to solve that. And never really wore these boots with this bike, and I have no choice. It's the only boots I really got right now. So every time I move my foot, it's like the peg wants to go up with my foot. That's not good. This is not what I'm going for. Please, please, please don't run me over. I don't want to die today. Ask me tomorrow. You may get a different answer. I don't know. But, yeah. Keep a cool head. You got to be the responsible one. You know, you got to be the one that's avoiding a fight. And if you have a carry license, they should have taught you this in class. And I don't know if you forgot or you just don't give a damn. You know, you're carrying a firearm. You should do everything you can to avoid having to pull that firearm. You see a situation is getting bad, you remove yourself from the situation. You know, the other thing too is loss of life. That's a life. That's a human life. I don't care if they're being a dumbass. I don't care about fuck around and find out. I've done a lot of fucking around and never found out a damn thing, and I found out a lot of shit without fucking around, you know? It don't necessarily work that way, and the meme's kind of stupid in a way. I mean, I get the point. Everyone gets the point. But here's the thing. Even if you win your court case, you know, it's what, just to go before the grand jury and all that, you're going to be out, what, $70,000? Do you have $70,000? Are you willing to lose your home, your livelihood, your everything? You think that's not going to affect your job? Your employers, like you shot somebody, you think that's not going to affect you at work? You know, there's just no reason for it, and the people who are against us owning firearms, well, it only adds fuel to their fire. So they rear-ended you. Who gives a shit? Okay, they cut you off in traffic. As someone who drives for a living, I am a professional driver. At least they tell me I am. I've been doing it for 28 years. I don't want to add that up. It'll be 28 years this year that I've had a CDL. And most people are not intentionally trying to cut you off. There's no malice in it. I've had people that had malice in it. Most of us truck drivers have. You've had the people constantly slamming on their brakes in front of you, laughing. Man, they'll piss you off. You gotta pull over on the side of the road, cool your jets, just let them go. Some of you drivers out there, because I know I have truck drivers on my channel, know exactly what I'm talking about. There's sometimes you just gotta pull the truck over. Let them go wherever the hell they're gonna go. Now, if they pull over with you and get out, that's a different story. Do everything you can to avoid confrontation. You have a firearm on you. You have a firearm in the vehicle. Sorry for the coughing. Do everything you can to avoid confrontation. Confrontation is not good. Confrontation, you are going to go to court. And nearly every single case, whether it was justified, whether it wasn't, whether anything, you used a gun, you're at least going to go before a grand jury. And grand jury is not a court case. Like, that's not your case. they're deciding whether they want to press charges on you. You can lose everything that you own, everything you've worked so hard for, just paying lawyers and shit to get to a grand jury. You got bail money, you got friends that will bail you out. It's not gonna be no cheap bail, you know. They're gonna be coming up with thousands of dollars. Do you really want a court-appointed attorney? They do have insurance out there. There's pros and cons to it. Yes, I do. I've got Texas Law Shield, which is related to U.S. Law Shield, just in case. But once again, they only take you to the grand jury, by the way. That's all they're there for, is taking you to the grand jury, and hopefully you get your charges dismissed. From there, if they go ahead with the charges, you're kind of fucked. Even in a pro-gun state, I live in Texas, we're very pro-gun. So is it worth it? If somebody bumps into your car in a parking lot, somebody cuts you off, somebody speeds past you, you don't think they should be driving like that, oh my god, you're gonna have a wreck, whatever, and you chase them down. This road right here, I have a video on my channel where a guy chased me down this road because he did not like being passed. I just went around him, I passed him, and there's a curve we're fixing to hit up here, a very sharp curve on a very rough section of road. You cannot take it very fast. I know that I'm coming up on that, and I've got to slow down. I got this guy with his brights was on behind me, chasing me down. It's another thing. Don't do shit like that. You got mad, you can get glad. It's not worth the rise in blood pressure, dude. Calm down. Now I realize we drive way more aggressively down here than most parts of the country. In fact, you know, people talk about how bad New York is and New York City and all that. I turn my blinker on in New York City, they get out of my way. There's a reason for that. I think they had too many years of truck driver just went blink, 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 and on the third blink they were getting over whether you were there or not, so they're kind of trained, you know? One of those sort of situations. What the hell is in my helmet? I swear I got cat hair in my helmet. Is she getting inside my helmet? I don't know. Like, I don't know if you can see that. This is very rough road. You're not going to take this turn real fast. At least I'm not, you know? I can take it faster than I just did. You know? But I also don't trust my rear tire right now. Is it worth it? It's not. I'm not saying violence is never necessary. There are times that it's necessary, and these women saying, oh, I could never take a life to protect my kids. Someone should stop them from breeding. You know? I mean, the point in time when I'm most likely to take your life is protecting my kids. You know? That's an instinct that should not be leaving our species. You know, yeah, protect your kids. Someone's beating down the door, you're gonna put holes in it. I wouldn't even second guess that. There wouldn't even be a first guess. That's the way it is when you have kids. You know, you jump head first off a cliff just to push them back over it to keep them from falling. There's no second guessing. There's no second thought. There wasn't a first thought. That's just instinct. That's what it is. If someone doesn't have that instinct, something's wrong with them. They should put that in there as some kind of mental disorder. And that big, thick mental disorder book we got. Boy, do we have mental disorders. But I think most of it's just people are, I don't know. Word's not coming to mind. I know what I'm thinking. The word's not coming to mind. But anyways, keep your cool. If you're carrying a firearm, keep your cool. Avoid conflict. Like, seriously, avoid conflict. Be a good representation of a firearms owner while everyone's out there trying to take our rights to defend ourselves away from us, you know? And they don't think about, oh, we need all this big weight and this, that, and the other, and you're taking firearms away from women. You realize that, right? She needs that gun now, because nobody gives a fuck about a restraining order or anything else. And when he's beaten through the door and she's still got 2 more days on that weight before she can pick up that firearm to protect herself, you know, her life, her blood is on your hands. Because you thought she had to wait to purchase that gun. All you're doing is disarming women. But, anyways, use your head. Keep your cool. It's not worth it. I'm not saying don't defend your life. Defend your life. If your life is in jeopardy, defend your life. But in most cases, your life is not in jeopardy. And especially road rage, literally, unless they're attacking you with the car, your life is not in jeopardy. Now, if they get out with a gun, that's a different story. You know? And I'm not saying just because they have a gun on their hip that they're not threatening anybody just by by open carrying. They pull that gun's a different story. They got their hand on that gun threatening, that is a different story. We can get into that at a later date if you want to. So anyways, I gotta go. Keep your cool. You're awesome. Adios, vaya con Dios, Nashla, ciao. I'll catch you later. Deuces, yo. You guys are awesome.